everybody, thanks for coming to Organize With Me today. Today I'm doing another tag video. This is the Happily Married tag that was started by Jillian from Jillian at Home. I'll link her channel below if you haven't checked it out yet. So happy that you tagged me, even though I've been married for less than a year. Really happy to answer these questions, so hopefully it's helpful and fun to watch. And I'm really looking forward to watching everybody else who does the videos. I will link the channels that were tagged. If I'm looking down a lot, it's because I have my computer in front of me. I asked my husband some of the questions and I just kind of wanted to think about the questions before I answered them, so that's why I'm looking down. So the first section is pre-hubby, and the first question is, did you date much before you met your husband? No, I didn't date a lot. I had a few serious relationships, like high school or early college, and then I kind of casually dated a couple of guys right before I met my husband, or right before we started dating, and quickly realized casual dating wasn't for me. I'd never done it before and it just, was not for me. So, okay, second question is, did online dating exist when you were dating? Would you have used it if it was? It did exist, but honestly I never thought about using it. Third question is, where do you think are the best places to meet a great guy? I had met various guys that I dated in all different ways. I hadn't dated enough to think, oh, the best guys that I've dated have all been from this source or something. But I think through friends. I met my husband through my college roommate at the time. I think that they know them, so they can kind of vouch for them. They kind of know what type of person they are. I think you're not going out with someone totally random that none of your friends know. I think it's nice. The fourth question is, what qualities would you tell single women to look for in a man? I think selflessness, being willing to put your partner first, humility. I enjoy confidence in a guy, but not cockiness, so for me, humility. I think someone who is upfront and honest and trustworthy. I think humor, being able to take themselves lightly, not taking themselves too seriously, and lastly, integrity. I think most importantly, integrity. My husband's really big on following through on his commitments and doing what he says he will, and I think that's a really good quality in a person and in a husband. And what dating advice have or will you give your daughter? It's hard for me to think about what I would tell my daughter because it's just so not in my realm of what we're doing right now. We're not in the mode of having kids, so it's hard for me to think about that, but I think I would tell her to date thoughtfully and think about how you date is going to affect the other people that you date and your future husband, whether he is the person you're dating at the time or he's not. Kind of in summary, I think I would just tell her to date with the future in mind and how your dating history is going to affect your relationship with your husband, how things that you do in relationships are going to affect the other person, how they're going to affect you in the future. That would be my main point. The next section is called the early days. The first question in that section is, how did you meet your husband and how old were you? Alright, well this, funnily enough, is a question that when people ask my husband and I, there's always a bit of debate about, or just kind of poking fun at each other, because I met my husband at a football game in college. I was 20 years old, I was almost 21, and I think it was in November, it was in the fall of 2010. And so I met him at a football game very, very briefly. He came up because I was with my roommate and he knew her, so he came up and just said hi. It was dark out, it was an evening game. I don't know if we shook hands. I know just we said hey, we're introduced really fast. There were several of us there. We're all introduced to him and then he left. So it was very quick. It was dark and everything. So on our second or third date though, which was a while later, my husband asked me if I remembered how we met. And I said, at my apartment, and you came over to watch a movie. And he was like, nope. I was like, what are you talking about? Of course that's how we met. And he did come over. I think the first time I saw him after the game was at our apartment. My roommate had invited him over to watch Princess Bride with us, watching it for some reason. And anyways, he reminded me that we met at that game, and he will never let me live it down. He considers that we didn't meet then because I don't remember it. Now, in my mind, I don't know if I'm making it up, but in my mind, I remember like meeting him now at the game, but he says, no, you don't remember meeting me, so the first time we met was at your prayer meeting. So anyways, should be an easy question to answer, but it never is. The next question is, did you play hard to get? I didn't mean to play hard to get, but he says that I did. Next question is, did you know he was the one right away? Did he know you were the one right away? Neither of us knew right away, but we knew pretty quickly. He knew first, I think. He says after 6 weeks of dating that he knew that I was the one. And I don't have an exact point where I knew he was the one, but definitely really quickly. Next question is, what qualities did your husband love about you when you were first dating? He said my personality, I was down to earth, friendly, kind, and that hanging out with me was a lot of fun. The next question is, did you have a timeline for marriage? We decided that we wanted to get married, I think 3 months into being like boyfriend and girlfriend. We dated for a month. We weren't officially together until like a month into dating, and then I would say 3 months after that, we talked about getting married. So pretty quickly, but we did this, we were both in college, and I think we basically wanted to be done with college. And it probably wasn't a really strict, like, we have to be done with college, but also, you know, I told him very early on when we talked about marriage that I wanted him to pay for a ring outright. I didn't want him to go into debt or like finance a ring. So, I mean, we were both in school and he was saving up for a ring, so that kind of dictated the timeline too. And he did. He paid for a ring outright, which made me very happy. The next question is, did you have to nudge your husband toward marriage? No. He asked me to marry him probably every day for probably more than 2 years. Even after we got engaged, like every day was like, let's run away together, let's get married. So yeah, I did not have to nudge him at all. And he didn't have to nudge me either, but I wanted a real wedding. I wanted to be able to celebrate with our family and friends. And he did, like, I know that he's glad that we had a wedding too, but he was just ready to start a life together. The next section is weddings and marriage. First question was, what did you love most about your wedding? I love that our wedding was completely us. I felt like we didn't make compromises to do things that weren't specific to us or weren't something that we wanted. Everything was really personal, and our wedding was pretty intimate. We had less than like 75 people. Probably had around like 65 or 70. We did a first look, so we got to spend time together. If you don't know what a first look is, it's where you see each other before the ceremony, and it's kind of formal and official. And I really didn't want our wedding day to go by and feel like I didn't get to spend much time with my husband. I really didn't want it to feel that way, so that really helped us get to feel like we spent a lot of our wedding day together. We also wrote letters to each other and read them aloud to each other, so those are really special. I cried several times during the day, and reading the letters was one of them, and hearing his letter. My cousin and her husband officiated our wedding, so that was really special. They were the first people in my family to meet my husband back when we were dating, and had always been really supportive throughout our relationship. And I didn't want someone to officiate our wedding that, you know, we weren't close to, that we didn't feel a connection with. So they did it, and they did an amazing job, and that was really special to us. My grandpa is a poet. He writes a lot of poems. He has my dad got a book published of his poems, and he read one during our ceremony. It was just really special to have my grandpa be a part of it. I really looked up to my grandfather a lot, and I just wanted him to be a part of the ceremony, and he writes beautiful poems. And so many of our family and friends participated, even our vendors, like we were close with some of them, and just so many people contributed, and it was just wonderful to feel like we got to see everybody, and we got to spend time with everybody, and that everything was so personal, and that people were so involved. So thankful for everything that everybody did, and everybody who came, just very thankful that everybody did. And we had a really fun time at our reception. Our DJ was amazing. My grandpa and I danced to YMCA, which is a memory that is burned in my mind and heart forever. I have pictures of it, I have video of it, so that was a wonderful moment, you know, just dancing with my husband, dancing with my friends, dancing with my dad, you know, just lots of really special moments. Even, you know, like before when I was getting ready, you know, spending time with my mom, my mother-in-law, my friends. That was long-winded, but the next question is, what elements of your wedding didn't matter as much as you thought they would? I worried a lot about the guest count because we had a small venue and I wanted to invite, you know, as many people as we could, and I stressed out so much about that, and then we had plenty of space. So that didn't matter as much as I thought it would. The next question is the first year of marriage really the hardest? I'm not sure if it is because I'm still in the first year. We're less than a month away from the 1 year mark. But if this is the hardest year, then that would be amazing because this has been a really great year. We've been through some hard things, but marriage, in my mind, hasn't been hard. What advice do you give newlywed couples? And that is kind of worded in a way that sounds like I give a lot of advice to newlywed couples, and I really don't. I'm kind of last in a long string of my close friends to get married. Some people would be giving advice to me, but if I were to give advice to a newlywed couple, I would say don't hold things in, let your spouse know how you're feeling, make time to have fun together. We've been through some times this year where we had to make a choice of like make more money, work more, or keep this job or whatever, and versus being able to be together because he's in the military, and we chose to be together, and I don't regret that choice one bit. I mean, we've had to make sacrifices in terms of finances and getting to buy certain things, but I would not trade that choice for the world. I'm so glad that we've made the choices to put our time together first in front of, you know, making a certain amount of money or having this certain kind of job security. The last question is, if you're religious, how has your faith influenced your marriage? I don't answer this question in a way to like push my beliefs on anybody or anything, just answering the question. We're Christians, we believe in God, and I think the main thing is in marriage there can be a lot of stress, and especially with us there's been a lot of unknowns. When you're in the military, you don't have a lot of control over your future and over your own like life situations sometimes. And my husband, one of the things I admire greatly about him is he has unwavering faith in God and always knows that, you know, God has a plan for us. And I'm not always so strong in my faith sometimes, but I do believe that God has a plan for us, and that helps when things get stressful and the unknowns creep in. And I think just having the same beliefs and believing that God has a plan for us has made the first year a lot less stressful. So that's all the questions. I've had a lot of fun doing this tag. Hopefully I didn't ramble through all this stuff. I'm sorry if this is really long. I just wanted to answer them completely. So I'm going to pop in some wedding photos here at the end. If you want to see them, go ahead and keep watching. If not, you can turn off the video. I'm also going to link our wedding video in the description. Our videographers were amazing, and we absolutely love how our video came out. So if you want to see a little bit more intimately or in detail what our wedding was like, you can watch that video. It's a few minutes, like probably about 5 or 6 minutes long. As always, I'm going to do a share the love at the end of the video. That's my new thing that I'm doing. So I'm going to share the love today with Abby from Little Red Buttons. She has an awesome channel. She is American, but she lived in England for a while and is married to a British guy. And she has the most lovely speaking voice, and just does a lot of fun like DIYs, and she's really good at thrift shopping and decorating and things, so check her out. I'm going to tag Abby from Little Red Buttons to do this tag. She's done a few videos with her husband. They're super cute. So, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. Thanks Jillian again for tagging me in this. If you'd like to see more weekly videos from me, usually I'm doing something related to home, organizing or decorating or things like that, home projects. If you'd like to see more videos from me every week on Saturdays, go ahead and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.